So, hi everybody and welcome back to Saha Unreal Engine 5 full game tutorial series, and this is video 31, and in this video I talk about the Epic Mega Jam start because my time limit is off and my game is not finished because, like I showed you last time, I created this game, I packaged it, and the problem is, let me show you what the problem is fast. You can see the problem is here it works, but this color, anyhow, shadow and all this thing is not working when I package it. And these are things which you have to, that's the reason why we package it and test it to see how the final product looks like, because this is in editor, it looks not like this. And yeah, I have to rework this, and that's the reason why I decided not to release it, because I have not fixed it, but my time is over, because I said I make this game in 2 weeks, and now I have this problem with this shadows, lightning, and probably some project settings, because this is caused by project settings probably. Yeah, and that's the reason why I will not release it like I intended. Normally I said, okay, let's release it now on itch.io, but at this state I'm unhappy. This project needs to rework. It's anyway just the core system, that but even the core system is not finished, and that's really bad. So that's for this tutorial. So I will continue this tutorial not this week because I have not much time, but we will continue this. And here's some info about the Epic Mega Jam here, because I said when this Epic Mega Jam starts here, my time limit is off, and the jam started right now. So you can see it started here some minutes ago, so around, and you have now here around 7 days or even more. And my tip is, so I joined here as well, but my tip is for you, because if you want to win one of these prizes, and first of all, if you are a beginner, then use assets, because they said in the stream that you can use assets, right? And I think you should use assets if you are a beginner and can't create all from scratch. That's also with sound. But if you followed the stream, they said also you should change it, not just use the assets like it is. Like, let's say there is a sample map, not just take the sample map, put it in your game, and that's it. Then you will probably get not that much points when you have integrated this asset, for example, in your theme and in your environment. What I mean with that is, for example, they said you can use this kit bash assets, or you can use any assets actually, but I make an example with this kit bash because they said they provide also this kit bash 3D. There is this new Neo set, Neo City, which is absolute free for this jam. That's why I'm joining here, by the way. I only joined here to get the free assets because I'm not making a game, I have no time. So and here there are some free assets, and the kit bash Neo City is for free, which I will take. And of course you can use these assets as beginner, so you don't have to create assets from scratch. But what you have to do if you participate in this one is you integrate these assets with in your game, which means you change the level design for your needs. You change perhaps so you make different textures. You apply different textures on the already existing assets, or you change the scaling and all this kind of stuff that fits in your game. And the theme, by the way, is as above, so below, so it should fit in this theme as well. But the important note is here, you can use assets, and as a beginner I would advise you to use assets if you can't work very fast and don't have experience to create assets. Yeah, the next thing is here are of course other sound libraries. You should use sound as well, and of course they provide against sound, and that's why I joined here this gem. There is also free sound from this Boom library, from the Dynamadian, We Love Indies. There are also free libraries, and there are even free assets from animation assets, but don't forget there are also other places where you get many free on the web, like there are a million places on the web where you get also free assets. But what I want to show you with that is, if they provide this kind of assets, they say indirectly you can use assets, but just integrate them in your game. So don't be afraid to use assets, because there are some people think we have to do all from scratch. No, you don't have to do all from scratch, especially not as a beginner. And then I would go for this one. So yeah, and so that's it for this one. And my other advice was, as a beginner, if you want to win of this game, is you have to finish your game, and my advice is just power the first 3 days through. Some people say you should take your time and so on. Believe me, don't take your time in 7 days. Just start the first day power, second day power, 3-day power, and you get, after this 3 days, probably you get then exhausted. So mentally, and yeah, you get exhausted. But you work the first 3 days, which means you know where you are. And then if you get in after this first 3 days exhausted, then you have still here 4 or 3 days left. So you can make then a break, a good sleep, 8 hours sleep, and whatever, so that you get again fit. And then you still know where you are. And the biggest mistake what I had in my Epic Mega Jam, because I finished it not, was I take the first day to less work, the second day to less work, but then I started to work on the 3rd day, on the 5th day, and on the 6th day. And the problem was that I get, because I work not at start hard, I get exhausted later very hard, so that I provided also not very good quality, and then there comes bugs. And the limit, and bugs means, like I showed you here with my package here, when you package it, sometimes it appears that it's not exactly like the editor version, and then you have to change something, or there are other game bugs sometimes which appears later, and then you have to fix this. And if you power later, where you get exhausted, like I said in my last jam, I powered the last 3 days instead of the first 3 days, then I was exhausted. I could not fix the bugs because I had their bugs, and I could not submit. So my advice is power the first 3 days, get exhausted early, then you still know where you are, and try to finish all that in the first 3 days. Then you have still 3 days around to test your code, to add and see all the bugs, and you can react to all bugs. That's very important. So that's my advice for you. And as a beginner, because this is a beginner tutorial what I make, like I said, use free assets. Don't worry, they say only you have to use them creatively. Of course, if you are a designer, then you can create your own assets. If you have the skills or something, or you are a programmer and something like that, you can create all from scratch. But the 7 days is really a limit where you have to, let's say, so you need experience to create something from scratch. For example, if you are a designer, already created many designs, for example, 3D models, 3D assets, or whatever, then you know all the work process, and for you it's then not so difficult to create these models within, let's say, some hours. Then that's not a problem. But for me, for example, let's make a reference. I have no clue about modeling, for example, about design. If I would create one asset, it would take me already more than 1 day, right? So this is a reference, and that makes no sense, for example. As for me, for example, to create all assets from scratch, only basic assets perhaps I can create, so super basic things, and that's it. But not something like they offer here. For example, Kitbash offers here this Neo City. I could never, the Neo City has more than, I don't know, 300 free assets, which are textured, which are modeled, and then you can use that. And then I have just to rearrange them, scale them, change texture, and then add also music, integrate the music to the theme. And this kind of stuff, it's impossible for, I would say, for beginners, not for advanced people. That's another story. They can do it, but for beginners, all this kind of stuff doing in 7 days, then you are, that's, I would say that's almost impossible for beginners, but not for like I said, experienced people not. If you have already design experience 3 years, you created many assets, then you can create some assets, like I said, within 1 day, all the assets which you need. Depends on your skill level. So that's my advice for this one. So you should work hard the first, the second, the third day, and try to finish as much as you can. And the other days, you will polish this and add stuff to it if you want. But one last advice, try to be full finished with your game 1 day before you, 1 way before this submission ends, which means you should finish on day between 5 and 6 with your project, because then you can see if you have bugs. Like I said, this packaging, sometimes packaging and editor is not all time the same, and then you have to fix it, and that can cause your submission if there is a bug, right? So that's it for this video. I will, like I said, I will join too. You see I joined too, but I will just join to get this free Kitbash, this Boom library, and here's also good free animations. I think Maximo has also animation, but these animations are, I think, also interesting, and I try to get just these free assets here. I hope it is allowed. I hope I make not something morally not so legal, because I joined here just to get the free assets, but they have not said it's I think it's not against the rule just to join to get the free assets. Because, yeah, because not all will win the prizes. They are very nice prizes, and at least they get them these free assets, which are, when you think about it, this asset costs also really money. For example, this Neo City and this libraries here. If you would go to these websites and purchase them, you would pay money. And that's why I'm here, not to pay money and get it for free, whatever. Yeah, with that said, I think I stopped this video, and I wish you a good luck, and I hope you win. And if you don't win, don't worry. The best win here is that you are able to release a game, because that's the ultimate win. Why is this the ultimate win? When you are able to release a game, then you are, yeah, you start your real game development journey. I mean, not the real game development journey. Let's say you start to become a real game developer in the sense of you are releasing games and showing what you are able of, what you can do, because that's the point where you level up, I would say, from, let's say, game developer who tries just something out to a game developer who are releasing products. This is another level, and that's very important for beginners, I think. And that's why you should, and that's why I encourage you, just do it, and you'll level up as a game developer. And for the future, you will create then real games, and then you will win the real prize when your game, which you create in the future, makes money, right? That's the point. Also, not only have fun, it's of course important, but you want to sell your games in the future, right? So with that said, I think I stop here. I wish you a very good luck for this jam. And I wish you also a very good luck if you don't join the jam like me to just get here some assets. That's also cool. And try to release a game still, right? Try to release a game. That's the most important. That's why I made also this tutorial here, this full game tutorial, this basic here to show you. That is something which you have to do because many skilled game developers, much more skilled than me, they have high skills but never released a game, not even here in some game jams for test purposes, and which means they have the potential, but if they release nothing, it's nothing, right? That's the point. So take this in account, have fun, try your best. And with that said, I stop this video, and like all times, if you have any questions and any complaints or anything what you want to ask, write it in the comments. See you probably not in the next video because I said I stop now this this tutorial series for a moment. I think I will continue with it later. I have not time this week, but I will continue probably with this tutorial series, but I will make also other tutorial series now, and that's why I have less time because I run also C++ and also Unreal Engine 5 normal things, and there are coming other tutorials. But what I want to say is this was phase 1, and I think I will continue this tutorial series for this for game 2, for the phase 2, because that's also very important what I mean with phase 1. Phase 1 was what I showed you till now. It should be normally the core system. Core system means just the bare minimum which is working, and the phase 2 means now you add all your creative ideas. You make the game, polish the game, you add music, you add style, you add many things, which needs also more knowledge, which I don't have probably in design and art. And there I will use free assets probably. Like I said, don't stick to things which you can't handle. Just get the free assets, change them or learn them. That's also another solution. And with that said, I think I stop this video here. Bye, good luck, and like all the time, have fun and never give up.